How do you negotiate a higher settlement in a Connecticut car accident case? The first thing that you need to do is you need to make sure that you have everything. I mean, it sounds so basic, but a lot of times when you submit a claim, you're missing things. And what do I mean by that? Oftentimes you may go to an emergency room, there's a bill for the emergency room, they may do imaging, there may be a second bill for the radiology that gets done. And you request them from the hospital, they give you the ER bill, but they don't give you the radiology bill. So it's a whole bunch of little detail-oriented things like that, making sure that you have all the documentation that supports your claim. Because the law is simple. The more damage that you incur, the more your case is going to be worth. So it's important that you have documented every piece of damage along the way. And that example of the ER and the radiology, that comes up a lot. Maybe there was a independent doctor who was in the ER who also billed. So looking at those medical records and getting complete and accurate records, that's a big deal in terms of adding value. Now, the same with your lost wages that you may experience. Maybe that you had to take time off from work, making sure that you have that documented, a letter from your supervisor, pay stubs. If you're self-employed, showing that you lost jobs or a decrease in income over your usual income, that's always going to be very important in making sure that you're submitting that. And also making sure that you've documented all your injuries. Now, a lot of people just think like, oh, I hurt my back, and I incurred some medical bills to try to get my back better. But things like, you couldn't go golfing, or you were running and you can't run anymore because you were bitten by a dog. That's loss of enjoyment of life, and that's compensable. So if we had a case where somebody was, say, they avidly went to the gym, we may want to get gym records to show, hey, look, 6 months prior to this, they were at the gym 5 days a week. They get into this car accident, they're no longer at the gym. That shows that it's impacted your enjoyment of life, and that is of value too. So you've also got to think not just about the bills, but about the non-economic damages. So documenting everything, like that's a big one. The second thing is you've got to know what the leverage points are with the insurance companies. This is a little bit harder. Is there a potential recklessness claim? And now insurance companies don't have to pay out recklessness claims, but they have to protect their insureds. And in Connecticut, recklessness is not covered by insurance. And so what you would have to do is, but if you can present a colorable reckless claim, say somebody was driving too fast, or they were on their cell phone, or drinking, well, that can increase the value by a multiple of 2 or 3. And that's something that the insurance company is going to have to defend. Also, things like pictures of injuries, things like that can be useful. Scarring in particular can be one that can have significant value. Making sure that those things are there, and it just knowing where the pressure points are, with the policy. Sometimes it can be easy for us to get more value if there's a minimal policy, because the insurance company, it's maybe close enough to the policy to pay it, but maybe not exactly there. But we can put pressure on them by filing what's known in Connecticut as a prejudgment remedy, where they will pay more because the claim could be worth more than the policy, and they have to protect their insured. Now that's really beyond like lay knowledge as to how to handle that, but you're going to want to be able to know how to apply pressure. Really contact a lawyer to be able to do those things, because they know that you're not going to be able to do it yourself. I mean, the litigation process, or the possibility of litigation, is a big deal for insurance companies. And that really brings me to my point, is like, if you hire a lawyer, you really want to hire a trial lawyer. And the reason why is very simple. If there are lawyers out there, and they may not tell you this when you sign up with them, but they don't litigate cases. They want to settle everything. The insurance company knows it. So whatever their last offer is before litigation, that's what the case will settle for. If they know that you have a firm that is willing to litigate cases, that's going to make value go a little bit more. But not every litigation firm is willing to try a case. So they know, okay, we're going to get this into litigation and we're going to make some offer, and then they're going to take it right before trial because they don't want to try the case. But if you have a firm that has a history of, successful jury verdicts, like we have our $100 million verdict, the insurance companies, they know that when they're dealing with us. So that presents a lot of risk. And they also know, because they have a system, a computer system that tracks everything that we do, everything that every lawyer does, who the lawyers are who will take the offers, who the lawyers are who are going to try the cases. And they will put more money on cases that they know may get tried, to avoid having to pay out a very significant sum of money, particularly if the firm has a successful track record of being able to obtain those things. So, those are really the different ways to get value. One of the things that we do as a firm is we set the value. We don't let the insurance company set the value. It's not like some weird auction where we say, okay, we think this is worth 10,000. You're at 5,000. They say, how about 6,000? And we say 9,000. Because that's not really negotiating to drive value. The way in which you drive value is say, look, here's what you're going to pay. I have a release in hand. You have money. And here's what the value of my release is. And I'm going to do various things, whether it's litigate, try, retain experts, use motion practice or the tools, the legal tools available to me to increase the value until you pay me that amount, or maybe more. So that's really how you increase settlement value in a car accident case. Know that insurance companies have done studies. If you have a lawyer, the amount that you get more is 3.5 times than you would get on your own. So that's going to be a very simple way to add value.